Hey there! Did you know that the average American household wastes about 30% of its food annually, while also spending over $600 on fresh produce each year? What if I told you that turning your backyard into a farm could solve both problems and more? Today, I'm sharing my crazy adventure of transforming this ordinary backyard into a thriving mini farm. It's been a wild ride, with plenty of challenges and rewards. So stick around to see how it all turned out. Step 1. Clearing the clutter and prepping the space. This backyard needed some serious TLC. Before I started digging, I had to come up with a plan. Here's the layout I sketched. Raised beds for vegetables, a small chicken coop, a composting corner, and even a space for fruit trees. Ambitious? Maybe. But go big or go home, right? Once the vision was clear, it was time to gather the essentials. A lot of this project was DIY. So materials like untreated wood for the raised beds and organic soil were a must. Here's where the real work began. I built these raised beds from scratch, which was surprisingly easier than I thought. A power drill quickly became my best friend. I planted a mix of veggies, tomatoes, lettuce, carrots, and even some herbs. It was so satisfying to see everything come together. But not everything went smoothly. When I first started building, I underestimated how uneven the ground was. I spent hours leveling the soil and adjusting the bed frames. It was frustrating at first, but once I got it right, it was such a relief. For beginners, I recommend starting with low-maintenance plants like lettuce, radishes, and kale. They grow quickly and don't require too much fuss. Herbs like basil and parsley are also a great choice and can even be grown in small pots if you're tight on space. Next up was the chicken coop. Meet my feathery friends. They're not here just for the eggs. They'll help with pest control and provide manure for composting too. Fun fact, chickens are way more entertaining than I expected. It's like having a backyard sitcom. On day one of the chickens decided to make a break for it. I spent 15 minutes chasing her around the yard. Lesson learned. Secure the coop door before you walk away. No farm's complete without compost. I set up a simple bin to recycle kitchen scraps and yard waste. It's eco-friendly and gives me nutrient-rich soil for the garden. It's amazing how much waste can be repurposed instead of going to a landfill. But here's the thing no one tells you. Compost can get really smelly if you don't balance the greens and browns. I had a stinky situation for a week until I added more dry leaves. Crisis averted. If you're new to composting, here's a tip. Balance your greens, like veggie scraps and coffee grounds, with browns, like dry leaves and cardboard. Keep it moist but not soggy, and turn it every week to speed up the process. Simple and effective. Now let's tackle some of the most common questions I've been getting about backyard farming. Number 1. How much space do I need? Great question. You don't need a huge backyard to get started. Even a small patio can host a few potted plants or a vertical garden. If you have a little more room, raised beds are a great option because they make gardening easier and more organized. Number 2. What's the easiest vegetable to grow? If you're a beginner, go for leafy greens like lettuce and spinach. They grow quickly and are super forgiving. Radishes and green onions are also great because they don't take up much space and mature in just a few weeks. Number 3. How do you keep pests away? This was a big concern for me too. My advice is to plant pest-repellent herbs like marigold, mint, and rosemary around your garden. And if you have chickens, they'll help control bugs naturally. Also, covering your plants with netting can save you from a caterpillar invasion. Number 4. Is backyard farming expensive? It doesn't have to be. I saved a lot by upcycling materials for my raised beds and building my own compost bin. Seeds are affordable, and once your garden is established, you'll save money on groceries. Fast forward a few months and look at this. The veggies are thriving, the chickens are laying, and I've even harvested my first batch of compost. Seeing this transformation has been so rewarding. Plus, there's nothing better than eating food you've grown yourself. Not everything went perfectly, though. My first batch of carrots turned out like this. Cute, but definitely not grocery store worthy. Turns out, my soil wasn't loose enough. Live and learn. So, was it worth it? Absolutely. Turning my backyard into a farm has taught me so much about sustainability, patience, and the joy of homegrown food. If you've ever thought about starting your own backyard farm, I say go for it. Start small, dream big, and watch what happens. As for the future, I'm excited to expand even more. I'm planning to add a pollinator garden to attract bees and butterflies, and maybe even experiment with aquaponics. Beyond that, this farm has already changed how I think about food and waste. It's made me more mindful and connected to nature. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then,